kids. It's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I'm your host, Joe. Cole will be joining later, but in the meantime, it is Royal Rumble season, which means it is time for another Wrasslecast, which means Tim Ekkebus is here. Tim, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
You good? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this bowl away from me. Oh, shit. Without knocking anything over, but I knocked something over, so who fucking cares now? Fucking goddamn it. All right.
Proud of you.
Yeah, everything's great. Hi. Welcome 2020. This is my first time on the show this year.
This is. Are you excited?
I mean, you know, as much as any other time.
True.
But it is the Royal Rumble. It is the one WWE event, well, one of the two, I would say, that is pretty much guaranteed to entertain, and the one that is not guaranteed to you will be awake through it, unlike WrestleMania, which is too long. This is the best WWE event of the year on average, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. It is the one I look forward to the most every year. There's just something fun about the Rumble. I know they have most of the competitors announced for this year, but you just got to wonder if there's going to be a couple of surprises.
It will always be a couple of surprises, which we will get to and speculate upon. They've already announced 25. Well, I guess we'll get there when we get there, but
yeah, before that, on Saturday, they have the Worlds Collide 2020 event.
They finally see what it's like when worlds collide.
Jeez.
Yeah!
I'm not going to pay for that song. Man.
5,000, Tony Hawk 2.
Oh, God. I forgot that was in Tony Hawk.
Yeah, what it looks like when worlds collide is apparently doing a Benny Ahad off a half pipe.
Interesting.
This right here, getting this hidden tape is what it's like when worlds collide. But yeah, no Takeover this weekend. Takeover is become decoupled from the main quote-unquote roster major pay-per-view schedule. And now the next Takeover is in a few weeks in Portland.
Yeah,
that's 3 weeks away after the Rumble, and in its stead is the NXT version of Survivor Series, where NXT America, I guess, is taking on
America.
NXT. Yeah, is taking on NXT. Well, it's just called NXT. Is taking on NXT UK, which they did I think this is like the third time they've done it.
It's the second time they've done a Worlds Collide. Last year was a tournament where there were 5 guys from NXT, 5 from NXT UK, and 5 from 205 Live that just went through a tournament, and the winner was Velveteen Dream.
Yes, I remember that, and he got his shot against Johnny and beat him. That's how he won the title. That I remember that much. That's how he won the North American Championship. I feel like they did like a little one at like an Access like 2 years ago, but
they might have.
Now it appears to be codified as a thing they do this time of year. The second year they're doing it. And it's I feel like they put more effort into it this year. Like they've actually been building to it on NXT TV.
Yeah, there's actually more matches than a normal Takeover.
Yeah. So I guess we should talk about them. That's why we're here.
Yeah, we might as well. 6 matches have been confirmed for the event.
Hope you don't care about our thoughts about them. Moving on. All right.
I didn't say
6
that.
Matches confirmed.
Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 confirmed. The first one, apparently they're going to take place on the pre-show. I didn't know they were doing a pre-show for Worlds Collide.
Doing a pre-show.
Well, Mia Yim versus Kaylee Ray in a singles match. What do you think's going to happen on this one?
Well, I think Kaylee Ray is going to win.
Being a good guess.
Kaylee Ray being the NXT Women's UK Women's Champion, and Mia Yim not being a champion of any sort. I don't see them doing a title change on the pre-show.
I don't think it's even for the title. I think it's just a match.
Man, if it were on the main card, I don't think that Mia Yim would win either. So, like,
fair.
No, I think Kaylee Ray is going to win. Yeah. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I don't see Mia Yim standing a chance against Kaylee Ray. And, you know, it's the NXT UK Women's Champion against Mia Yim. It just...
Yeah, I don't mean to, like, shit on Mia Yim.
She's just not champion caliber right now.
Not for me. No, definitely not. She's definitely, like, tier... If you're being very fine about who you're saying is on, like, the Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler level and who is just under that, then Mia Yim is under that one that's under them. Like, she is sub Io Shirai, Bianca Belair. Who else hangs out there? I don't know. I'm blanking on it. Oh, Candice LeRae. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Sorry, Mia Yim, but yeah, I think you're just there to lose.
There to give NXT UK some points.
Yeah, and exactly. As I was looking at this card, I was kind of like, am I getting in my own head about, like, the picks? Like, should I be thinking about, like, oh, are they going to make it really close? Do they even care about this NXT US versus NXT? Excuse me. Do they care about brand supremacy? You know, the way they go on about it at Survivor Series. Is that even a shit that anyone gives about this card? Should I be looking for the moments where NXT UK can steal a win? Or... Yeah,
because they haven't really played up the whole versus thing too much, but that's the point of the pay-per-view.
It is, but, well, is it or is it? I don't know. I don't know yet. I guess we'll see how it plays out. Like, without Michael Cole sitting there, like, yammering with the other commentators, like, oh man, come on Raw, come on SmackDown, except way more annoying because it's Michael Cole. I mean, like, taking place under Triple H's steady hand, they might just be like, okay, we're just going to have some cool matches, you know?
That might be.
But
because the next one is really cool. DIY reforming to take on Mustache Mountain. Mm-hmm. This could steal the show.
It could steal the show. Yeah, it, you know, Johnny and his buddy Tommaso have kind of been in some, they have been loosely aligned, I guess I should say, since Ciampa came back. Not loosely aligned even, but they've been on, what should I say? Like, they've
been on the same page.
They have been, there's a ceasefire at least going on. That's what I'm looking for.
There you go.
It feels like, I mean, I hope that, you know, them behind the scenes still feel like there is unfinished business there. They did not get to have their 2 out of 3 falls match at WrestleMania last year to finish the fight.
Dropping bits!
But they are basically both on the same side of things. So it's not that crazy for them to do a little DIY reunion here. But yeah,
it'll pop the crowd.
Yeah. Is this, especially if this is like the opener for the main card, as it is positioned on Wikipedia, the source for all things wrestling that we use on this podcast? It's
official.
Yeah. I'm not sure how it's going to go. Are they just going to do a straight up... I kind of feel on some level it's like, well, okay, they both have gained power since they... you know, as singles wrestlers, and now they're rejoining as DIY, so one might think that those powers will be even greater than they were before. Is there going to be some friction that's going to cost them the match? Is there going to be shenanigans? Are they just going to win and beat Trent Seven? Is this an opportunity for NXT UK to win a match? I don't know. I really don't know how this one's going to go, but it's probably going to be a banger.
I think it's just going to be a really, really awesome match. I think DIY is going to win it in the end, though.
Yeah, just for the feel-good moment. I could see that, yeah. Feel bad, because I really don't see a lot of NXT UK people winning on this card.
Oh, I know. So if there is brand supremacy, I don't know, I guess NXT UK has to take them where they can.
I guess. But yeah, I feel like, you know, DIY is gonna win. Like the other thing is, and we'll talk about it a little bit, is they do have a takeover coming up in a few weeks. So you're gonna have, you're gonna want guys. Are these wins and losses going to play into the further build for that card at Portland? I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know, but next match is a fatal 4-way for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. It's not even the WWE Cruiserweight Championship anymore. It is the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Where it belongs.
With the champion Angel Garza defending against Isaiah Swerve Scott, Jordan Devlin, and Travis Banks. I see this as a pee break, honestly.
Oh, come on, sir.
Angel Garza has done nothing for me.
Oh, I love Angel Garza. I think he's really good.
He's done nothing to get my attention. Him and Humberto Carrillo, I don't get his
pants off.
He has taken his pants off.
Like Angel Garza, Isaiah Swerve Scott in the Jordan Miles Memorial spot. I feel like, and then a couple of guys from NXT UK. I remember Jordan Devlin. He's like a mini Finn Balor. And Travis Banks, I am not familiar with. But Angel Garza just won the title, so I think he's going to win.
Yeah, I see them keeping it on him. I don't see this as a match that's going to shake up the status quo at all. Yeah, if he hadn't just won it, I could see them shipping it off to the UK for a little bit. I think that would be fun. But he just won it, so I think he retains. That's my thought. Either that or they could give it to Swerve.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to give it to Swerve. I feel like if anybody is winning this that's not Angel Garza, it's Jordan Devlin. And maybe they do, and maybe they have Angel Garza go over there for a little bit, but I don't know. He seems like he's been pretty popular with the NXT crowd, so
he takes his pants off.
He does take his pants off and propose to his girlfriend in the ring after he wins the title, and he's a good bad guy. Which was adorable. It was adorable, but yeah, I think Angel Garza retains, and I think it'll be, that's going to be the high-flying, fast-paced match of the night.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what that's going to be, so it should be exciting to watch. There should be some good spots. Maybe don't go to the bathroom.
All right, you convinced me.
Yeah.
Anyway, next match is Finn Balor one-on-one against, what is it, Ilya Dragunov?
Ilya Dragunov. Yes. You don't know who that is, do you?
Not at all.
My main familiarity with him is that when he was on the Indies, he came out to the Hell March from Command and Conquer.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is pretty great. I don't think he does that anymore. It should be a good match, but I hate to sound like a broken record here, but Finn to win. Sorry, NXT UK again, but Finn, especially maybe more than the other matches. Finn has his match against Johnny in 3 weeks. Finn is rebuilding and reestablishing himself on NXT. He fucking smoked that dude this week on the show.
Oh God, yeah.
So yeah, I think that Finn wins. I think it'll be a good match. It's going to be more competitive than the match was this past week on NXT, TV. And maybe it'll be close enough. Give some. I don't know where Dragunov ranks in the NXT UK hierarchy. I don't know if he's approaching the title picture or what. Are they going to have? They've got to have
plans for him somewhere if he's going against Finn Balor.
Yeah. So I feel like he's got to be. Pete Dunne abandoned the ship and ran to NXT US away from Walter. Tyler Bate lost, a takeover ago. Yo Coffey just lost. So I feel like he might be the next challenger for that title.
Could be a way to establish him as a competitor by having him take a win over Finn Balor. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win. I think it's just going to be one of those where it's man, he put up a hell of a fight against Finn Balor. It's one of those things where he gets the rub by, having a really good close match against a much more established star.
He gets the crowd cheering after the match.
Exactly.
Finn Balor leaves and then he's alone in the ring and everyone starts cheering him.
Yeah, he gets to take a bow there. Like, oh man, he's almost on that level. That, I think it's one of those. That's what I think's going on here.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yep.
Next match is a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship that sees champion Rhea Ripley go against Toni Storm. I don't see them taking the belt off of Ripley this quick.
No way. Oh my God, no. She
Not
just
at
won
all.
it in that huge, awesome match, like just a month ago. No. No, she is she is not losing it here to Toni Storm. Like, man, the NXT crowd was pissed when Toni Storm touched that belt.
Oh, they were booing like crazy.
Yeah, and they like Toni Storm, and I don't particularly care for Toni Storm.
Why not?
I don't like her character, and I don't think just doesn't really hit for me. It's not really anything in particular. Like, I don't really have anything against her, but she is far from my favorite. And yeah, I think she did beat Rhea twice last year, so I think this is Rhea getting a win back. A good first defense of her title, but I don't think she's winning at all. Toni Storm, no.
We are agreed on another one. Main event of the evening sees Imperium, which is Walter, Fabian Eichner, Marcel Barthel, and Alexander Wolf taking on the Undisputed Era of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and the recently dethroned Roderick Strong.
Yeah. My kid really likes the Undisputed Era. Well, he hears their music come on, he gets excited, but then he calls them the Disputed Era.
The Disputed Era.
No, they are not. Well, I mean, I guess they are in dispute now that Roderick Strong lost.
Not in dispute is how awesome Prime is, because he just dropped 9 more biddies in chat. So thank you, Prime.
Thank you.
Drop
Thanks for the
it,
biddies. I think, I was kind of looking at how last night's match was going to go. I think I'm going to say Imperium wins, which is ridiculous. But I think if they beat somebody, if they are winning, which I am now predicting them to do, they're going to pin Roderick Strong. And it might be the beginning of them kind of trying to single out Roderick Strong as the weak link in the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
With Roderick Strong losing, it might be, the beginning of them trying, breaking the Undisputed Era up a little bit. I mean, or
seeing the cracks start to form.
So showing cracks start to form, or like, it's hard to know exactly what the hell they're doing with moving people around on different brands. Are they going to come to a point where they're moving Undisputed Era onto Raw or SmackDown in the near future? Have they kind of run their course on NXT? They've been running around for 3 years now.
Yeah.
They've been in every War Games at this point. So and they had the belts all at the same time for I guess 4 months. But
yeah, it's a good run at the top. I just think that their run is starting to come to an end.
Yeah.
With Fish and O'Reilly getting knocked out of the tag tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Adam Cole kind of get his ass handed to him by Walter on Wednesday.
He had his soul blasted out of his body by that fucking chop. Holy shit.
Flipped him over. Oh my lord, what a chop.
Yeah, and I think Imperium kind of needs to look good for a change. I feel like on most American programming, they've been made to look a bit like chumps. So I think a good strong win by them over a beginning to crack Undisputed Era would be good here.
Yeah.
Will it happen? I don't know. It's tough to bet against Adam Cole with the fucking run that he's been on. You know?
Very true.
But, yeah, I think, I'll say Imperium. Imperium for the win.
I agree there as well. Do we agree on absolutely everything on this card?
We did, so...
Kaylee Ray, DIY, Garza, Finn, Rhea, and Imperium. Yeah.
It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a bloodbath.
I can't wait to see how bad our picks are.
Everything's just flipped. Somehow Toni Storm win. That would be... that is what I least want to see, is Toni Storm winning. Toni
Storm wins the Cruiserweight Championship somehow.
Unless...
Unless what? What do you think?
Unless they wanted Rhea Ripley to win a different match this coming weekend. But I don't think that's the case. Did they give her just a courtesy run with the title to dethrone Shayna so that she could win a different match. I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of people think Shayna's going to win that different match.
Well, we'll see when we get there and start throwing down some picks.
We will, but we should probably bring up the TakeOver Portland.
The TakeOver Portland.
Like 3 matches have been announced for it so far?
Actually, only 2 by the look of it. I thought they had formally announced Tommaso Ciampa versus Adam Cole for the title, which seems where that's going, but they haven't.
Isn't that where the Dusty Classic is coming to an end?
No, that would be next week on Wednesday. They're just
doing it on Plain TV?
They're doing it on Plain TV, despite the fact they have a UK versus US finals, and there being a Worlds Colliding thing on Saturday. They're not doing it there.
Yeah, go figure.
Whatever, they're doing it on TV. Gotta get some stuff on there to fight against Dynamite.
True.
I feel like the Ciampa Cole match is happening, and we could speculate on that. Other than that, it is the winner of Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm versus Bianca Belair.
So it's Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair.
Let's hope. And then Finn versus Johnny. And that's in a few weeks, yeah.
February 16th, that one is.
Yeah. So, and I think the next takeover after the next takeover for that is TakeOver Tampa Bay, which is the big one, WrestleMania weekend.
Oh.
Yeah. So, here's what God damn it. Well, they could see, kind of my initial thought was like, oh, they're going to have Adam Cole retain, and then Ciampa's going to win it in Tampa Bay, win Goldie back, right? That was my thought. But now I'm kind of like, well, what if they have Johnny win and Ciampa win here, and then they run Johnny versus Tommaso at Tampa? What if they do that instead? Oh, shit. Either way, I think Rhea Ripley's winning. I think she continues to retain for the time being.
I don't see Bianca winning the championship at all.
No, not yet. Well, someday.
Maybe.
Not right now. Not right now. Good first challenger. Well, second challenger, I guess, for Rhea. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that Finn was going to beat Johnny just to really stomp in his point. But maybe, I don't know. Johnny always wins. He's such a dick like that.
Johnny Takeover.
Johnny Takeover. Yeah, it's tough to speculate now 3 weeks out without actually seeing how the rest of how Worlds Collide is going to go and how the next few weeks of TV are going to go. I assume we will also see the newly minted North American champion, Keith Lee, defending his championship this weekend. Maybe in a rematch against Roderick Strong. Maybe against someone else. I don't know.
You think that'll happen this weekend or TakeOver
No, I'm
weekend?
sorry. I meant at the TakeOver weekend. What I want to see is at Tampa Bay, I want to see the final confrontation between Keith Lee and Dijakovic. Like the final chapter I want to see at Tampa Bay.
That would be beautiful.
That will be insane.
But that's a far way off. We've got plenty of time before that happens.
Man, it's Mania season. That's all we're talking about.
It's the road to WrestleMania, and the road to WrestleMania starts with the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, yeah.
Which is happening this Sunday. We are missing Friday Night SmackDown. We don't know what's happening. We are recording this on Thursday like we usually do.
Yeah, that's what they get for having it on Fridays.
Yeah, I miss when it was on Tuesdays.
Kind of.
I do.
I forget about it when it's on Friday a lot. Like Saturday, something like it will pop up on my Twitter feed. I'll be like, oh, right, SmackDown was last night.
Yeah.
Completely. Whew. All right. Yeah, so we got a card here.
Yeah, we do. There are 8 announced matches so far. We're going to go in Wikipedia order like usual, starting off with Andrade defending the United States Championship against Humberto Carrillo. I see Andrade winning because I have zero interest in Carrillo.
I think Andrade is going to win because he's just gonna win. I mean, it seems like they really like Humberto Carrillo. Like he's I like his wrestling. His wrestling is quite good. I don't usually watch the weekly shows, so I don't always know. But he's Angel Garza's cousin. No
really?
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, I happened to open up his Wikipedia page, but he's his cousin's Angel Garza. Wait a second. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I just think, Andrade also just won his title, and I don't think he's losing it, and I think he is excellent and should hold on to it for a while. Put some shine on that belt, you know?
Yeah, give it some prestige.
Give it some prestige.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm going with Andrade. It sounds like we're both in agreement on this one as well.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Next up is a women's championship match for the SmackDown Women's Championship between Bayley and Lacey Evans. The
babyface, Lacey Evans.
I still don't buy her as a babyface.
Well, she's on Fox. She's tall and blonde and from the military, and she is going up against some non-white people. Not to...
Wow.
How else can you that's just... It's what's happening! Like, suddenly Lacey's... they're on Fox, and suddenly Lacey's a good guy. Give me a break. She's still terrible in the ring. She is... Oh, my God. She would be sub Mia Yim tier on NXT if she were still there. She should still be on NXT.
She should.
God. Yeah. So what? She's winning here, right?
Probably.
She's probably fucking winning here. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know. They just have not been that behind Bayley lately, it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
You think they're giving it to Lacey?
I don't think they should. It's a real tough situation here because I don't think they should be, but I just don't know, man. Maybe if they pick Lacey, that'll just jinx it, just reverse jinx, or maybe I don't know. There's gonna be some cheatery so that Lacey wins, but Bayley retains. That's probably what'll happen, actually.
Maybe. I think the bottom line is we're not going to see Lacey Evans with the championship.
Yeah, you think that's where she is not going to have the championship after the Royal Rumble?
She might win, she might lose, but Bayley's going to stay the champ somehow.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, I think I will pick her, Lacey, by disqualification or count out, such that she does not win. The title does not change hands.
Yeah,
and they can drag it out yet further.
Probably.
All right, cool.
Shorty G is taking on Sheamus because that's a fucking match that's got to happen.
That's on the they haven't marked what's on the pre-show. That should be on the pre-show.
It probably will be.
Yeah, I guess just poor fucking Chad Gable, Shorty Gable. Shorty G is gonna lose because he's short. I would love
Sheamus who just returned.
It's Sheamus who just returned. I would love to see one of those flash roll-up wins for G shortness, but
G shortness.
It just, I don't know. They just you're short. And that's it. That's all we got for you. Former Olympian, great wrestler. Yeah, feels like Sheamus is just gonna fucking win.
Yeah, that's who I have written down.
Yeah.
It just seems inevitable.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of inevitable.
Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Falls Count.
I see Corbin winning this one too.
Yeah, my thought was Corbin. it is a no DQ match, so anyone can get involved, and
which means everyone will get involved on Corbin's side.
Yeah, well, Corbin's side will get involved. The Usos will come out to even it up, but I think, you would think that if this is the end of the feud, that Roman would win. But being that it's, if it were any other day besides the Royal Rumble, I would say that Roman would win. But they're probably going to do the thing where Roman loses so he can possibly come back and win another match later in the night.
Oh, that
what match
would suck.
could it be? What? Come on, man. What do you think is going to happen here?
Oh, shit. Let's see. What's next? Becky Lynch is defending the Raw Women's Championship against Asuka. Becky can't get the job done against Asuka, and I think that's going to hold true.
Yeah? Man, I hope you're right. I would love for you to be correct.
I hope I'm right too. I don't know if Asuka's going to win the championship. There might be some tomfoolery where Becky sneaks a way out of it. I think Asuka's going to win, though. I think she's getting the win, belt or not. She's getting the win. All
right, I think Becky's going to win and get her win back.
Hey, we disagree on something. Hooray!
Yay! Finally, we made it. Yeah, I think it's just I think the time. So Becky has had the belt, that one, since last year's WrestleMania. Has had it the whole year, and we're coming up on WrestleMania season again. I have to think that if there was going to be a blip in her reign, it would have been back in the fall, specifically when she was feuding with Sasha Banks. If Sasha had won it for like a month or two, or Sasha wins on pay-per-view, loses on Raw the way she does, or wait, that's the other way. Or Sasha short reign. I guess
Sasha short reign.
Yeah, she has never had a long reign with any of the belts, though she's like a 5-time women's champion. Yeah, I think Becky is just going to win, get that win back. And this is coming from me, who's like fucking Asuka fan number one. I would love for Asuka to freaking smoke Becky and go into WrestleMania as the champion, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think, they are setting up one of 2 matches for Becky at WrestleMania, and we'll probably see which one that is by the end of the night.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Well, the whole point of the Royal Rumble is to set up WrestleMania, so.
Yes. Or starts. It sets up half of it. You only get one challenger, and, yeah.
Ah, well. Next match is a strap match for the WWE Universal Championship between The Fiend Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, heck yeah.
What do you see happening here?
I see them turning on the red lights and me going,
God damn it.
God damn it. That'll be the most disappointing part of this match. I think Bray's going to win. I think The Fiend rolls on to WrestleMania to be unseated by someone else. But yeah, I think Bray hangs on to it. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think I do. I do definitely still want to see like good guy Daniel Bryan with a championship reign. Because when he had it, he was bad guy Daniel Bryan, if you recall, which was still great, which is still wonderful. But I just don't think this is that particular moment. By the way, it's still awesome that Daniel Bryan is wrestling on the regular again. Like,
oh, I know.
Yeah. Whew, man, that's awesome.
Equally awesome. Awesome Prime dropping another 5 biddies because he's trying to fill the cup.
Fill it up.
Trying to fill the cup and slow down my computer.
Yeah. Doesn't take much.
No,
so yeah, I see a retention by the Fiend. But
I agree.
I'm hoping for a good match. Hope for a great match.
I hope they keep the fucking red lights off.
God, please let us see the stupid match, please. Please.
Then there are the 2 Royal Rumble matches.
Woo! The reason we came here.
Indeed. We'll start with the Women's Royal Rumble match, which has a whopping 5 competitors announced so far, with Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Sarah Logan, and Natalya all being announced.
Sarah Logan announced on Twitter. Natalya announced by Natalya on WWE's The Bump.
The Bump.
Dude, you're fucking announcing that you're in the Royal Rumble on the Wednesday before the show. Of course you're going to be in the freaking Women's Royal Rumble, Natalya. Give me a goddamn break. What are you talking about? Like, every woman on the roster is going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble.
And a few that aren't on the roster.
Surely, yeah.
That's where all the surprises are this year. Not in the Men's Rumble. All the surprises are going to be in the Women's Rumble. So that's where CM Punk's returning.
By what they have listed, there's going to be 25 surprises in the Women's Royal Rumble. Every other competitor will be a surprise. At this rate, I mean, like, you have to figure, I don't know, you see Lacey doing double duty. Sasha will be in it.
Bunch of NXT girls will be there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I see a very large contingent from NXT because they're like the most popular women on the roster, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're going to see Bianca Belair and Io Shirai. Like there was a few last year, but I think you're going to see a lot more this year with them being on TV. I think you're going to see a ton of them. And perhaps you will see one of them win.
Maybe. So I think someone from NXT is going to win it. My money is on Shayna Baszler coming in and winning the Rumble.
Yep, that's my pick as well, is Shayna Baszler winning the Rumble. They kind of, they started setting up her conflict with Becky at Survivor Series. They have not had a singles match. Shayna did not beat Becky in that triple threat. Becky was a sore loser. Leg dropped her through a table. Sore loser Becky. Man, Becky's really, she's got to be careful. I like Becky Lynch a lot, but her being a sore loser at Survivor Series, her dunking on Kana-chan TV this past week is not acceptable. That is not okay. Asuka's
what did
YouTube
she do
channel
this past week?
She made some comment about Asuka's YouTube channel, or Asuka YouTubing or something like that. It was in the smack talk, building up the match. But I'm just saying, not only Asuka and her YouTube output are precious resources. And Asuka avoided a fucking shooting this week, so she needs to have a good week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see Shayna coming in and winning it and going on to challenge Bex at WrestleMania. And I feel like she has to be the one that's going to beat Becky. Unless there is the biggest surprise and Ronda Rousey comes back in this Rumble. And if she comes back,
we're going to get Ronda back?
I think so, but you never know. You fucking never know.
True.
But I don't think so. But if she, asterisks there that like, if Ronda is in the Rumble, I think she's probably winning.
The funny thing is, I think if Ronda's in the Rumble, she's going to get tossed out by Baszler.
Okay. All right. I like that too.
I think this is Baszler's year. I think they're putting all their chips in Baszler, and she's going to be the champ at WrestleMania. Yeah, one of these years, Charlotte is going to win the Rumble, right? I mean, it was supposed to happen.
I mean, it was going to be last year, except Becky got stupidly popular. So plans changed, I would imagine. But I feel like the idea last year is that Charlotte was going to win the Rumble and challenge Ronda Rousey and be the one to beat Ronda Rousey, but then Becky became the man and everything changed. But yeah, Charlotte winning and running into Charlotte winning and then going into another Becky versus Flair match is not interesting to me.
No.
If Asuka did win and running Charlotte into Asuka again, that I am very interested in, other than the fact that Charlotte always seems to win.
Yeah, I would like to see Asuka get her win back as well.
Yeah, but I see. Yeah, that's what I see.
So Baszler, we are both in agreement that Baszler is going to win the Women's Rumble.
Yep.
And speaking of entrants that are not announced, I think we're going to get a surprise winner from the Men's Rumble as well. I know rumors have been abound of people who might show up in this Rumble, and I'm not sure what rumors you've heard.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've heard the one that you're snaking up on. But let's see, there is like 25. Yeah, there's 25 of the 30. So there's only room for 5 surprises on the Men's Rumble. We got Roman in there. We got Brock, who's entering at number 1, which is very exciting because, I mean, I assume that Brock is not going to win the Rumble. Do you think Brock's going to win the Rumble? Do you think he's going to go 1-30? Okay.
I think the whole point of him being out there first is to have a surprise elimination fairly early in the Rumble. And then whoever took him out is who he's facing at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And whoever wins the Rumble will be challenging The Fiend at WrestleMania. That's how I'm
That's my guess as well.
But, Brock getting out there first should be very entertaining. And Brock doesn't like to work long nights. We know this. Like, come on. We know he wants to be out of there by the time number 10 is walking down the aisle, probably. But what I'm hoping is it gives him the chance to like interact with a bunch of people that he doesn't usually get to interact with. Like, I have to wonder, is him just like nut kicking Ricochet on Raw, like the setup for Ricochet? No, not challenging him. That's not where this was going, but just like being one of the early entrants to have that interaction. But they can only go for so long with just like, you know, oh man, who's going to be at number 2? I don't know. But it's just like, they can't just have, you know, Brock keep throwing guys out for so many entrants, or they could, you know, depending on how entertaining they make it. But as far as the surprise entrants, so we got Brock, AJ, Eric Rowan, and his cage. Randy Orton. Can Randy Orton win a third Rumble? God, I hope not. Ray, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, which would be cool to win. I wouldn't mind
seeing him win.
I wouldn't mind seeing him win at all. Elias, who I forget isn't injured. King Corbin, of course, King Corbin. Dolph, Otis, Tucker, Rusev, Bobby Lash, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, Braun, Shinsuke, Seth, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, of course. Going to get his... I wouldn't mind Kofi Kingston winning the Rumble.
Oh, me neither. I wouldn't mind Samoa Joe winning the Rumble.
There's a lot of people on this list I wouldn't mind winning the Rumble. Samoa Joe, I wouldn't mind Kevin Owens winning. I wouldn't mind anyone winning besides, like, Seth.
Tucker and Otis.
And Tucker. Man, if Otis won the Rumble, come on now. If R-Truth won the Rumble, come on now.
That would be great if R-Truth won it.
Yeah, but like in the realm of possibility, you know, I feel like, yeah. But we got 5 mystery entrants. So I think one of them is going to be Keith Lee. A lot of people are speculating that Keith Lee is going to be in the Rumble because he had like that awesome showdown with Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. He just had his big win. Keith Lee has been hot as shit. Man, I would love to see Keith Lee win the damn Rumble. Like, just strap the rocket to that man and fire him at Brock Lesnar. Hell yeah, man. I mean, Keith Lee is awesome. That dude is fucking awesome. Like, he is so good. But I don't know whether they're like, oh, the North American Championship, that's good enough for right now, you know? But I do think he will be in the Rumble. I think we could see Matt Riddle in the Rumble.
Yeah, a lot of people want to see Riddle and Lesnar go at it.
Yeah, well, because Brock, or even before he was in WWE, Riddle was like, I want to be the guy to retire Brock Lesnar. I want to be the guy to retire Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, I think people would lose their shit if they're, you know, in comes number 2 and it's just, bro. That would be fucking awesome. And that might be the only chance we really get to see that interaction. You know, who knows if they're ever going to get to have a match. So who do you think's going to be a surprise there, Joe?
Well, Awesome Prime is bringing up someone interesting. He says that he would love to see CM Punk in the Rumble, which I don't think we're going to see.
I don't think we're going to see that. I think
it would be cool as hell if it happens, and then we would see him finally main event WrestleMania. I don't see Punk ready to come back.
No, I think he's fine doing what he's doing, like being WWE adjacent. But the thing is, like, if he were coming back, he would still be saying that he wasn't. So Who knows? But I think he is content in what he is doing. And they'd have to give him a hell of a payday to get him back in the wrestling ring.
I think it'll happen eventually. I just don't think it's going to happen yet.
It's wrestling, there's always
never
something.
Say never.
Never say never, man.
The big surprise I think we're going to see, and this is also my pick to win it.
Oh yeah,
he looks in amazing shape.
Yeah,
and the rumors have been there for a while.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see Edge come back.
Yeah. You think Edge is going to win it? Come back and win it,
and then take out the Fiend?
Nah, I don't like that.
No. What do you see happening?
Oh, I think Roman Reigns is going to win and take out the Fiend. A different spear wielder. But, you know, maybe Roman's the guy who throws Brock out of the Rumble. That would be disappointing. Okay. How long has Edge been retired? Because, yeah, ever since Toronto, people have been like, oh, shit, Edge can spear a guy. Can he wrestle? He's 46. Edge is 46. He has been retired since 2011. I mean, I could see him coming out for a Rumble spot. I could see him doing a tag match at WrestleMania. I don't think he's going to be in a title match at WrestleMania. You know, I don't see him coming back for like a lengthy championship run. Or, I mean, you know, he was in a situation where it's like, you know, he was had to quit or else he was going to be in very bad shape. And, you know, Daniel Bryan also came back. But I think just with like I said, he's 46. He's getting up there in the years. I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. And maybe he does. But I don't think he wins. But that would be crazy. I mean, I think him coming out at all to wrestle in a match. That
would be absolutely bonkers to see his music hit during the Rumble.
Yeah, he has great entrance music. Yeah, I think that would be bonkers. But I think that, you know, Roman Reigns made his comeback last year. He's kind of been like flying like a little below. He has not been flying. They did not throw him straight back into the championship scene, I guess I should say. They have wisely kept him away from it. I have to think they are a little apprehensive about putting him back into it just because they don't want people to turn and start booing him again, you know?
Which I think if he starts knocking people out in the Rumble and it comes down to him near the end, I think he's going to get booed.
Yeah, you think it? I don't know. It's a tough call. Well, I mean, the problem is I'm sure people still want Daniel Bryan to win the damn Rumble. But I think there has been enough separation. I think that they can have him win a Royal Rumble and it not be the shit show that it was last time. I think that he can win and go up against The Fiend at WrestleMania and win. That's kind of my feeling, is that Roman's going to win.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
I would... I would love to be wrong if it's not Randy Orton. Fucking, that is the last person I want winning the goddamn Rumble. I don't want Orton winning the Rumble. I'm so sick of Randall Orton.
Randall Keith Orton.
Randall Keith Orton. No, I think anyone else on here, you know, that could realistically win. Who could realistically win? I think Roman is realistic. I don't think Seth is going to win, even though he won last year.
No.
I don't see him winning. I think Joe and Kevin Owens would be okay picks, but I think they're kind of locked into something else at the moment.
I think out of everyone announced, either Roman or Kofi would be the winner.
I think it would be great for Kofi to win and get to go back up against Brock. For a real match, a rematch, if you will, or against The Fiend, you know? Like, yeah. I think it would be, it's just, I feel like with how much they've built up The Fiend as like this, you know, freaking unstoppable inhuman monster, like I don't think that they want Kofi going against him. I think they want someone beefier. They want big meaty men slapping meat. Talk about work rate.
Meat slapping. Oh, Lord.
God. Did you see that excerpt from the New Day podcast with Big E talking about his match that he wants to have with Goldberg?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Share some details. Let's hear.
Oh God, just look it up. I mean, I can't. It's just because they're just talking about dream matches, and Big E's like, my dream match would be Goldberg. It's like, you want to talk about work rate? You want to talk about 30-minute classics? Not me. I want to see big men with big chests and big muscles bumping meat. But it's way better because it's Big E, and that doesn't ruin any of it. It's great, and Woods cannot stop fucking laughing. It's ridiculous. Those
You'll
guys
have to link me to that.
I will. Yeah, I could see Edge as to come to reel back here. Yeah, I could see Edge as a surprise. I could see, Keith Lee, I think, will be in it. There won't be too many NXT guys, though, with 25 slots already full.
Yeah, we're not going to see many.
Now. Yeah, I think you'll definitely see more NXT women in their respective Royal Rumble than the men's. But yeah,
But yeah, that's the Royal Rumble. Should be another awesome pay-per-view weekend. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right. Well, are you going to stick around for the video game section of the show, too?
I was going to say, last year, the Royal Rumble, my wife was in a car accident, so this will definitely be better than last year. Fucking marred the whole thing. Like, she went out to go pick up the food, and then it was like, yeah. Oh God, what a disaster. So, like, I will be going out and picking up the food this weekend.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, or we're not going too far. Have it delivered. Have it make it someone else's problem, but yeah, I'll stick around for the Vigi game.
The Vigi game stuff. We got to get Cole in here, so let's work on getting her in here now.
Tag her in.
Getting the hot tag.
Boop, 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 boop,
there she is.
Hi.
Hi.
Boom, boom, boom.
Did you guys all die?
Yes.
No, we're here.
I asked what y'all were doing, and it just you.
Oh, we were just talking about wrestling.
You know.
That's all. You know.
Girls and their gossip. God.
Yeah.
Our man soaps. Yeah, so Cole, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. I didn't die this past week.
That's
days.
good.
So, yeah. It was a low bar.
Win-win.
As long as I'm breathing, hey, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of video game news to We got a lot of video game news to talk about. Are y'all ready to get into it?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the first thing to talk about is a couple of games came to Game Pass this week. This is exciting news. A Plague Tale: Innocence and Indivisible both hit Game Pass this week.
Which you'll recall when I
so good.
I want to play Plague Tale. I have not gotten the chance. Indivisible, I did review for this very show last October, and I thought it was worth buying. So it's certainly worth downloading and playing on Game Pass.
Yeah, damn right it is.
Heck yeah. That's a fun-ass game.
It's also a stackable achievements if you've played the Xbox One version.
Ooh.
Play it again on the Windows 10.
Oh,
which
Plague
I
Tale?
have every intention of doing now that my computer can handle shit like that.
Nice. Next week on the 30th, we're going to get 2 more games with the game Sea Salt. And then, Cole, I know you're excited about this one. Fishing Sim World Pro Tour is coming to Game Pass.
Yay. I love my fishing games. I really do, but I probably won't play it on PC. I've played it on Xbox, so I'm like, that one's, I don't know. Maybe if you tell me it's got stackable achievements, I might be.
All about those stackable achievements.
Maybe I can do that.
Yeah. But there's another one coming that I am also super excited, that I'm like genuinely super excited about. That is not fishing.
Which one?
Grease.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that they announced a couple of more PC titles. What are the other PC titles they announced?
No, off the top of my head, I saw Grease. I was like, yay. I guess I could check it real quick, though. Game Pass for PC, since I'm following them on the tweeters. Plague Tale, Grease, Scourgebringer, and Sea Salt for PC beta. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So good additions hitting console and PC Game Pass.
Yeah, Children of Morta hit PC beta this week as well. I think we mentioned that last week that it was coming. I know we mentioned it on the Xbox version. I don't know if we mentioned it for PC, but it's on PC as well.
Yeah. And then it was also confirmed that Wasteland Remastered will be hitting Game Pass on February 25th as it launches direct to Xbox Game Pass, as well as Windows 10, Steam, and GOG.
Yep.
So Wasteland Remastered will be available right on Game Pass. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Yep. Game Pass is so good.
It is.
I just can't find a bad thing about it ever.
Again, a lot of noise in your feed, Cole.
It might be the heater, and also it's like 10 degrees, and I'm not turning it off.
Okay.
It has to heat the whole house. I can't just turn it off.
I can't tell if it's a heater or if it's like static interference or something.
Let me mute and unplug my mic and put it in another port, because I switched when I put my new GPU in. There's one of these ports is like super fucking staticky, and sometimes it helps if I swap it. So I'm gonna swap ports real quick.
Okay, you do that. So how you doing, Tim?
Good. Don't got to swap ports over here. No port swapping going on.
No port
Game
swapping.
Pass. Yeah, I saw Plague's Tale was on there, and I remember hearing about that game and kind of forgot about it. And then it kind of made it onto a few end of the year lists, got some praise, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to put that in the queue after the other 80 things that I have in my queue right now. Oh god.
Yeah, but you could play it on Xbox or on PC, which is good.
Yeah, but most things I'm gonna play on my Xbox, but you know what? Maybe I could play it on the PC. Maybe that might be a better place for me to play. I don't know. I don't know about my. Well, every now and then, the TV's in use. I can pull out my wife's laptop, get some gaming done on there.
True.
So it's not outside the realm of possibility. But oh man, yeah, I'm busy. Well, by the time that, I was gonna say,
I don't know how long it takes Cole to switch ports.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I was just going to say, speaking of Game Pass, and I can't say anything critical about it, but I'm currently reviewing Pillars of Eternity 2, the second one, by the time this goes up. But I will say it was rather convenient that my wife saw me playing 2 and was interested, and I was like, oh, hey, Pillars of Eternity 1 is right here on Game Pass, for you to check out. And she was playing it the next day. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Probably.
They're like, we got Pillars of Eternity 2 coming out. We need to get people out there interested. So yeah, that was cool that she could just roll straight into the first one and start checking that out. But oof.
Hey, it worked, right?
Yeah. No, it's just cool. Just yay, Game Pass.
Yay, hooray, Game Pass.
Yay, Game Pass. Yay, Game Pass.
So
All right, how am I doing now?
There we go.
I think you're better.
Is it better? Good. Okay.
That took a while.
Yeah.
It's okay. We filled the time beautifully. No one even noticed.
There's a lot of cords back there, Joe. I had to trace down the microphone cord from the arm around the PC and figure out which one of the 7 back there it fucking was.
Damn.
I don't even know what all that is that's plugged in. The keyboard, the mouse, the mic. I don't even know what the other ones are. And the terrible part is, the printer and the tablet, the drawing tablet.
That'll do it.
So,
speaking of computers, in addition to the long-rumored Horizon Zero Dawn PC port, reports are coming out that Sony is looking into bringing their game Dreams to PC as well.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. Yeah, I heard about Horizon.
Yeah, Dreams is from the people who made Little Big Planet. It's another creation suite kind of game.
Okay.
It's been getting good marks.
Yeah, it's not actually out yet. It's been out in kind of like a beta, like a early access state for almost a year now, I think.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Like my call tried to drop and it was like beep, beep, boop. And then y'all said, uh-oh, what at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of us that easy.
Damn.
You can try.
I think that's pretty crazy that Zero Dawn is possibly coming to PC. The mere thought of it. But I don't think that Jason Schreier would report it if that was not pretty solid information,
And those rumors have been around for quite a while, so it's got to be close if it's happening.
Yeah. Supposedly there was one dude who seems to know things when he leaks them, saying that it was going to happen like as soon as next month, like February, and he said that back in December.
Wow.
So yeah, it could be imminent. We'll see. Yeah, and of course that got everyone going like, please put Bloodborne on PC. Please put Bloodborne on PC. Please put Bloodborne on. And Bloodborne's like one of the only other like Sony first party things that I think would make sense. Like maybe Spider-Man. I don't think they'd put God of War on PC. I don't think they'd put like one of their big franchise games on PC. Maybe like older Uncharted's, but not like Last of Us and that stuff. I don't think they'll do that.
No. Cole, what about you? What do you think they'll bring to PC? Anything else?
I think they're kind of going to be pushed into bringing some of their bigger stuff to PC. Xbox is doing it, and then people... Well, I want to say, like, the mobs are gonna be like, if Xbox can do it, you guys can too. But then, like, they all get all mad when Xbox does shit. So maybe not. Now that I think about it a little more.
Yeah, well, I think maybe moving forward you'll see it more, and I think they're realizing that like that was kind of Sony's strongest suit this past generation is like, well, we have this, high level first party produced stuff you can get only on PlayStation, and I think they're starting to be like, well, maybe what if people bought it in other places as well? Like, what if they could just buy it?
Lock extra people out of your market?
Yeah. Like,
it's not good for consumers. It's also just bad business. Like, can you imagine if you walked in to an Apple store and they were like, oh, you drive a Taurus, you can't have an iPhone. When you first said Apple Store, I, for whatever reason, immediately jumped to produce, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll see like a delay. At least trying to ride the tech department. I think they'll still have like an exclusivity, window. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see, when it comes true, and then what happens moving forward.
Root Beer's my jam saying that Until Dawn and Tetris Effect would be good on PC. Tetris Effect needs to hit more platforms. I would
Tetris
play
Effect is on
Until
PC.
Dawn.
It needs to hit Xbox and Switch too.
It does need to hit the Switch. I don't care if it's on Xbox.
Fuck
Get
you.
Tim out of here.
Sorry.
Get out.
Sorry.
Out.
Sorry.
Get off my podcast.
Can't take my Xbox One with me.
Hell, I'm still mad that Puyo versus Tetris never hit Xbox in America. It's an Xbox game in Japan, but they just never brought it to America. That's some bullshit. Anyway,
a reoccurring theme too. Like,
I know. I don't know. Anyway, Ninja Theory revealed a new title called Project Mara this week, referred to as an in-development experimental title that explores new ways to storytelling. Cole, I saw this and immediately thought of you.
Oh, what was it again?
Project Mara.
Oh, yeah. You sent it to me and I was like, oh. When he said it, I was confused because I've been pronouncing it Project Mara and all I heard was the Mara part. I don't know why this is cutting out tonight, but it's definitely having a party. But I was like, what? Mara, what? I was so confused.
Well, you're still coming through crystal clear, so.
That's great. That's all that matters. We just need to hear me. Everything else can get fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, I am super excited. Ninja Theory can do no wrong in my eyes at this point. They have not failed us.
I am very interested in whatever they're doing.
I take that back. The DMC reboot thing was a little.
That was fantastic. It was.
I'm sure it played well, but I could never get over dark-haired Dante. So I never did it. I had it. I even installed it at one point, and I was like, I just can't make myself do it.
Does it make you feel better to know that he has white hair by the end of it?
Yes, a little.
Yeah. So good. It's my favorite Devil May Cry.
Good stuff. So yeah, Ninja Theory. Good new stuff coming from Ninja Theory.
Yeah. Devil May Cry tangent. I don't know if you heard this. So there's a Switch version of Devil May Cry 3 coming out next month.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they are adding the ability to switch your styles on the fly.
Yeah.
Which has never been in that game before and is what I've wanted from that game since it came out. And I am so excited. So I'll be buying Devil May Cry 3 for a Devil May Cry third time.
Only 3. Oh my god, I've bought it
third
so
or
many
fourth
times because I would buy it and then like I'd play it until it was scratched the fuck up and then I'd have to go buy it again.
Yeah, I
think I've bought it a dozen times at this point. And the funny part was like number one was in a room and I said something about she finally played Devil May Cry, her first one. It was Devil May Cry 5 and she played it over the Christmas break when I was playing it. And I was like, well, you have to play the other ones. You've done ruined yourself now. You have to play them all. And she's like, well, we don't have them all on the Xbox One. I was like, child, sit down. I have the whole collection in there for the 360. I have 3 of the 360s under my bed. We will dust one off and you will play those games. So that's probably going to be her summer break. Is just all Devil May Cry. But then again, if it's coming out on Switch, could maybe be asked to get it on the Switch for them. Totally not self-servingly for me. I will not play the Switch. I will not play the Switch. It is only for the kids, but Devil May Cry.
How much have you played the Switch?
I placed 12th in the Tetris 99 match.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's been my extent with the Switch. I was like, yep, that's good. Here you go. Have fun.
Joe, you're good at Tetris. You can win Tetris 99, can't you?
I have not won it. I've gotten second.
You've never won? Oh,
No.
man. I've won a bunch of times.
I haven't played it in a while. So, like, when I was playing it, it was still, like, when it just came out and, max popularity.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
when
if
I
I
got
jumped
most of
on
my
now.
wins. I mean, you're just not as good as I thought.
Yeah, maybe.
I was
Okay, we can
surprised
play at
I did
MagFest
as well
sometime.
as I did.
Anywho.
Ian
Anywho,
says it
indeed.
doesn't help that you get pit against those insane Korean tryhards.
True.
I'm gonna say that was my problem. But no, I was just playing the Tetris side of it without paying attention to the whole, like, there are other people trying to kill me side.
Yeah, you got to look out for that.
Yeah,
They'll
and
get
I
you.
was just like so impressed that I made it as far as I did because I was just more concerned about keeping shit clear.
Oh, man. Some other news. Valve has come out and stated that Left 4 Dead 3 is absolutely not in development, so I guess we could leave this one alone now.
So stop it.
Dirty bastard.
Stop it. Leave us alone.
It's not happening. Leave us alone, for the love of
Not
God.
happening. Leave us alone. Come on. They also, they also made the Half-Lives free for the near future until Half-Life Alyx comes out. This is nice of them.
Now, free to play until then,
Yeah,
or free to own?
I saw free to play until then, which maybe they're, well, let's see. Half-Life free there. It says they're free on Steam for the next 2 months. Does that mean free to play or free to own?
I would imagine free to play.
It says giving away. List of free games you can. Because the fact that you need to download the games through Steam, which, yeah, I don't know. 2 months to claim the games. So I guess they're free. You can just grab them right now, but they're not going to be free after Alyx comes out. I mean, whatever. They're all fucking 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like, usually they're on Steam sale for like $1.50 a piece. Like, what? It's like, you're not really saving a ton of money there, but
No.
PSA.
Another PSA, there is a report that a trusted news leaker has mentioned that there are signs we could see a new 2D Metroid game and a new Paper Mario game sometime in 2020. The Metroid game is supposedly related to Fusion, and the Paper Mario series is, quote, going back to what it was. So rumors of new Nintendo games. It's exciting because I would love to see a new 2D Metroid game.
I don't know. Well, maybe. Well, here's the thing. Metroid Prime 4 is not coming for a long while yet. Because that got totally rebooted last year. So that's not coming anytime soon. And at this point, let's see, Nintendo has kind of hit a lot of the big franchises on the Switch already now that, Animal Crossing will be out in the spring. So by the time you get to E3 time, it's like, okay, well, what's next? Well, they've teased the Breath of the Wild sequel, so maybe we'll see that this year. But then, you start thinking, like, what other Nintendo properties are they going to go to fill out their release schedule? And, I could see a return to Paper Mario. I don't know if I see the 2D Metroid.
No,
those are. It's hard to believe they ever even make a Metroid game. So just like the idea of there being one in any capacity is just shocking and weird to me. But I could that might just be kind of some smart speculation as to like, okay, this is what they're going to do next.
only time will tell.
I'd love for them to make a new F-Zero, please.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Speaking of time running out on things, Rocket League is ending support for Mac OS and Linux starting in March.
Bye, girl, bye.
I didn't know that it did support those, so hey.
Yeah, well, there you go. You learn something new every day.
I feel smart.
Get a real computer.
Techland has come out with a statement that Dying Light 2, which didn't have any kind of release date yet, but was planned internally for a release sometime in spring 2020, but that is now being pushed back to an undetermined date and that they'll have more details in the coming months. So a game we didn't know when it was coming out, we still don't know when it's coming out.
Sounds about right.
An announcement of a delay you didn't know was a delay.
Yeah. Anyone bummed to see Dying Light 2 get bumped?
I never played the first one.
Well, I started to play the first one, and I tried to play it with Studa, and he's such a chicken shit that the very first night, we spent the whole night sitting there in a building, waiting for it to be day again. And, like, he refused to go anywhere, and he was scared to death.
Wow.
And so we never played it again after that.
Wow.
So I don't think my odds are good for getting him to play Dying Light 2, but I do want to play it.
We'll have to play Dying Light sometime, because I want to get back into that game.
I've got it in there. It's one of the few games I have on disc.
Oh,
every
fancy.
now and then we find like one of my 2,000 games. One of them is on disc.
Some sad news. The current report is that Cyberpunk 2077's delay comes because of, quote, extremely unsatisfactory performance on the base Xbox One. This sucks to hear if it's true, and it makes you wonder, should they have skipped current gen completely and just made it a next gen game?
Or should they have just skipped Xbox completely and made it?
I was wondering if they should have released it as an Xbox One X exclusive title.
Yeah.
If there's even a way to do that.
I don't think Microsoft would let them do it, because they were very adamant that everything in the ecosystem played together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which it's a bummer to see. Going with less power in the original Xbox has caused a lot of headaches.
If that is indeed the reason why. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if it was just that, they could have just delayed that version, but boy, would that probably look bad, because they were on Microsoft's stage.
Yeah.
Showing it off. It probably wouldn't be very nice to be like, yeah, your console's so garbage, we're just delaying that version. Sorry!
Peace, bitch.
No.
Yeah. Deuces.
Deuces. Oh, Lord. Reports are that Kingdom Hearts has 2 new development teams and that a new title should be coming surprisingly soon. Do you think they're just referring to the Xbox version of 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and then like pi minus the radius of circumference of Jupiter or some shit? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know if those everything you just recited, are those real games? Are they not? Who knows?
I have no idea.
No one will ever know the truth.
Yeah.
They could be real games.
Maybe they're working on... it's always tough to tell. I mean, it's probably not Kingdom Hearts 4, one would have to imagine, but they love their side stories, don't they?
Yes, they do. So I guess we'll see if something new comes out of there. Last bit of news I have is that this week's free game on the Epic Store is The Bridge, with next week, Cole. It's going to be Farming Simulator 19.
Oh, God damn it.
Get that farm going.
That shiny new graphics card's going to have to get a workout.
Yep. Get the Epic Store client and grab some free games. It is amazing how big my library is on the Epic Game Store, and I have spent literally zero money on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah. I haven't even... I routinely forget to log in and claim my free games. A lot of times that's because it's a game that I have somewhere else. But...
Oh, I don't care if I have it somewhere else. If it's free on there, I'm getting it free.
Oh, yeah, usually. You usually just like to secure that. Just make sure you have
just in case.
Admit, I was looking at Steam, and where they're doing the Lunar New Year sale, and you guys were talking about having large libraries without ever actually playing or buying anything. I have a ton of games on Steam, but I just discovered now that my account is locked because I've never loaded $5 into it.
Really?
And I was like, oh. Like, I can play my games and I can redeem codes, but like I can't add friends. I can't take part in this Lunar New Year thing where they're giving gifts.
Huh.
It's like, no,
weird.
get fucked. You haven't given us $5. You can't do this shit. I was like, I had no idea.
I didn't
that
know you
there
had to
was
add
a
$5
limitation.
either.
Let me see what all the limits are. I had closed it out, but I'll open it back up if it'll.
I feel like I remember there being like some weird stipulation on certain features in.
Visit Steam support.
Yeah.
Tell me things, Steam support. I can't add friends. I can't buy or sell items on the community market. I can't create a group. I can't create user reviews or rate artwork, screenshots, workshop content, or greenlight submissions. And I can't use friends chat in my browser or on a mobile device.
I guess that's a good way to help cut down on spam users.
Yeah, I guess.
I
had
that's
no
probably why
idea
it is.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to do with like people laundering money through Steam.
Yeah, and the fucking gift cards or the trading cards that you get off of games.
Yep. Yeah.
Excuse me.
All has to do with that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the news I have. Anything either of you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Cole, nothing on your end?
I'm good.
Doing a
All
quick
right, then.
glance. Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, then, Tim, I guess we will let you get going. We have some reviews we
All
got to
right.
take care of. Thank you, as always, for coming on and doing your
Yeah.
thing.
As always. Yeah, I'll be back on next week to talk about the aforementioned Pillars of Eternity.
Indeed, you will. Until then, do you have any final words?
I do not. I got nothing. Sorry. Not this time. You evade a horrible pun. Yep. Later.
And Tim has left.
Bye.
Well, you ready for reviews then?
Yeah, let's do this. Number 1 had Pet Band tonight, and Dee went to go get her, and I have no idea what time they're going to bust through the door. So if you talk to me and I don't answer, I'm muted because they came in.
Well, it's reviews time, so it's going to be all you.
Yeah, if I just randomly stop and mute, that's why.
All right, well, first game to talk about tonight, we're actually bringing in someone else. Tim just left. Jacob's getting here. Jacob, how are you doing?
I've had better weeks, but, how about you?
I'm doing okay. Cole, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Nobody cares how Cole is.
Still hanging in there?
Look
Dang
here.
it.
I was going to say get on my podcast, but it's not my podcast, it's our podcast.
Oh, did you hear that, Joe?
Hey,
No,
she'll-
my show now. Get fucked.
wait until I'm dead. She's taking over. Good fucking luck to you.
You're not allowed to die, though.
God.
I don't want to have to deal with all these minions by myself. Somebody has to be the buffer.
It's okay. This show's going to die long before then.
This show's never dying.
It's true. It's going to be like, your toenail fungus. It's just never going to actually go away.
It's like there's a nuclear blast. The only thing left are cockroaches and us doing this fucking show. From a Fallout bunker, our guest this week, Chippy the Cockroach.
Scientists were just like, oh, God, it's so grotesque. You can't just help but feel terrible for him.
Oh, Chippy, you're so funny. That's what cockroaches sound like, right?
Basically.
It's either that or else you're talking to your penis again. I don't know.
Yeah, win-win. Anyway, we do have games to talk about. Like I said, first game to talk about this week is called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Developed by CyberConnect 2, published by Bandai Namco, released January 17th on Xbox One, PS4, and PC for $59.99. Relive the story of Goku and other Z fighters in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Beyond the epic battles, experience life in the Dragon Ball Z world as you fight, fish, eat, and train with Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and others. Jacob, tell us about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
I was plenty excited about this game because, after One Piece World Seeker, I was pretty hopeful for a Dragon Ball Z game that looked to be in the same vein. If if you remember my review of that, I was really positive about that game. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot it's a strange game in multiple ways. So first off, just get over the fact that this is going to be the same Dragon Ball Z plotline that we have been playing over and over again in gaming for like 20 years. Like, unfortunately, it's not going to be a brand new story for you. Although, one of the things I did like about it is how they threw in lots of random background characters or characters who had like plot lines in like the original Dragon Ball anime. They'll show up at Dragon Ball Z and you're like, oh, I wonder whatever happened to Ader. Well, guess what? You find out. Or like other people that Goku fought against, but later became friends with, they'll turn up even though they never turned up in the actual Dragon Ball Z anime later on. So that in itself, it was kind of neat, but it's first off, if you're hoping for like a brand new exciting chapter in the Dragon Ball Z saga, that's just get that out of your system right now. It's the same story that you've been listening to over and over again.
Does this like fill in the gaps of some parts of this story, or is it like its own side story?
It's just a retelling of it. So that I was a little disappointed by because, and also I'm going to be constantly I'm going to be going back and forth like against like One Piece. Part of the fun and excitement of that game for me is that it's just like I knew absolutely nothing about One Piece, and so it felt fresh. And apparently, like it was a completely new story too for that series. Meanwhile, this is just like, oh, it's Raditz again. Okay, we have to defeat him because I've been defeating him in every single Dragon Ball Z game since ever.
For like 30 years now.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's not that it's like, in terms of story, it's not well done or anything, but it's just like, guys, like, come on. Like, this isn't new. This isn't exciting. And it's just against the visuals that you get to see in the game. The visuals in this game look beautiful. They do Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z justice for it. But it's just like you just end up being bored with the story because you already know the beats. You already know what's going to happen with it. So in a way, I was kind of disappointed with that. Now, gameplay wise, the game itself is kind of strange. Like, it's not bad, but it's not great either. It's this weird, like, it doesn't know if it wants to be an RPG with a fighting side or a fighting game with, like, an RPG side to it. And neither of them ever really feel that fleshed out. Like, there's plenty of missions to do, but it's, alongside the regular storyline, but it's a whole lot of fetch quests. And it oddly also feels like you're playing like a Crackdown game with all the orb collecting that you have to do.
Collectibles.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing is that like the orb collecting, all it really does is just power you up, just like Crackdown does. Which for gameplay that felt fairly mediocre, that was the part that made me want to keep going. But at the same time, it also felt out of place because you already know the storyline. And so it's just like, oh no, Raditz grabbed Gohan. We better go save him. And you're like, fuck it. No. Like, I have to go collect all these orbs. But he's your kid.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Who cares? Yeah, he'll be there. I know how the story ends. Don't worry about it. Can you imagine my wife if she was just like, oh, somebody ran away with our kid. I gotta eat the rest of this bag of Fritos first. Come on.
Cole, your thoughts.
That's very Dragon Ball. That's like the whole time. I've been watching Shiz play it, unfortunately. And so,
has Shiz been bitching about it too?
No, he loves it.
Huh.
But Dragon Ball is one of those weird things where he I don't know why, but he loves it, and the rest of us are sitting there going, "This is garbage."
I'm actually surprised to hear that Jacob's not a fan, because I've heard a lot of good about the game, of people really enjoying it. I wonder if just your expectations were so high from One Piece that this game just doesn't match up to it.
I think it also depends on how much Dragon Ball Z you've been playing and watching and consuming for the last ever.
I will say this much. Even though I've played a couple of Dragon Ball games that I've done reviews on, but my primary experience with Dragon Ball was that, and I think I've probably told the story about it on the show before, but David and his nephew were playing Dragon Ball Z game with the night I went into labor with number 1.
Oh boy.
And I remember very little about the game, and yet watching somebody play Kakarot, I was sitting there going, I still recognize all this 16 years later. Oh my God, it's been 16 years. Please save me. 16 years later, and I'm sitting there going, it's still the same dog and pony show.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
It was all the same
thing.
shit.
And I ate up like millions of other kids at the time. I ate up Dragon Ball Z with this fucking spoon when it first really aired in America. And it's just the entire plot of Dragon Ball Z is Goku gets his ass kicked. Goku trains a bunch. Goku demands a rematch, fucks up the other guy. Hooray! Earth is saved. Goku gets his ass kicked. It's wash, rinse, repeat all over again. And it really wasn't until the Android saga that young Jacob noticed, oh, all this has the same plot over and over again. This is getting dumb. But it's just I remember the Namek saga, the Cell, I really wasn't that big of a fan of Cell saga, but Frieza and Trunks and all that kind of stuff. And it was just those things were golden. I loved them. And it's not like the game isn't respectful of its own material, but it's just, when you said shit, how old is Shiz?
He's our age, I think.
30. Yeah, I think he just turned 31 not too long ago.
Okay, I didn't know if Shiz was your kid or
No,
he's just a streamer friend of ours. He's been on the show, Jacob.
Okay.
That's how much you pay attention.
Wow.
You know what? Whatever. I listen to Cole's reviews sometimes.
I
what?
don't.
Fuck. You're in them.
What?
Oh,
I don't
God.
believe you.
It's some very clever editing.
Fun fact, I'm not actually here right now. You two are just talking, and I'm listening, and I'm recording commentary to whatever's happening.
That obviously explains why so often you're like, oh, uh-huh, interesting. Oh, that's a shame. So it's not I wasn't digging what I was playing, because it's just I wanted to keep going further and further, but it's just with the game, it just I don't know, there was nothing to the story because I already know it, because I've been going through it so many times, not only with anime but the manga. And how many subpar Dragon Ball Z games have us fans put up with since 98 or so? And
there's been a lot of subpar Dragon Ball games.
Oh yeah, no, totally. No, not all of them. Fighter Z is pretty great. And honestly, the legacy of Goku games back on Game Boy Advance were pretty good. I remember. But it's just, I don't know. It's just I never felt urgency. I never felt any kind of, think of it back to Star Trek Into Darkness. Okay, when we have that scene with Kirk and Spock, and this time Kirk's the one that makes the sacrifice and dies instead of Spock. And it's just it's supposed to have all that emotional impact that we knew from, 30 years ago when Spock made that sacrifice and all that other kind of stuff in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. But in Star Trek Into Darkness, it just feels hollow, and it's just the same beats over and over again that we know, and it doesn't have any kind of emotional impact that it once did. That's kind of how it feels playing through this. It's just, I don't know. But anyway, so going back to gameplay wise, as I said, it felt kind of confused, in my opinion. When I've talked about it with other people about how like it'll feel like an RPG with some sort of fighting elements to it, it felt very reminiscent of like the quest side of things for Mortal Kombat Deception. I don't know if I realize that's a huge throwback for everybody.
That was a fun game though.
It was like, I'm not saying like it's necessarily bad on that, but like if you remember, it was technically an RPG within the game, and there was fighting stuff, but it was just a ton of fetch quests that required you to be at a specific place at a specific time, and it just felt kind of tacked on to everything. Even though, of course, we all did it because you needed to for a complete game. But it's just, I don't know. And it's just like, I'm like the controls, like fighting feels too all over the place as you go on. It's a lot of button mashing and as you go through everything. And then one of my biggest gripes with the controls was honestly flying, which of course, is a big thing in Dragon Ball Z, because pretty much after Dragon Ball, nobody ever like just stays to the ground. I mean, like one of the big things was always like, how you're flying around and like kicking the shit out of everybody and, forcing them to go down to the ground at like 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like the flight controls never actually feel that fluid, and it honestly feels like you're controlling a helicopter more than Superman. And I know that like flight isn't exactly the easiest thing to do, because I mean, if you think about it, you're moving on way more, like you're adding that extra dimension of how you're going to be moving about. But you never feel, I don't know, flight just never felt like it was correct or accurate. As opposed to something like, Ace Combat 7, which, I played earlier last year.
Well, yeah, that's a flying game. I would hope a flying game feels like a good flying game.
Well, you would hope that. But the thing is, like, I'm making the comparison is just like flying around as Goku or Piccolo or Gohan. All that kind of stuff, it should feel like you're actually flying. This is just like, all right, I'm going forward. I have to like stop and correct how I'm going up, because otherwise I'm going to miss this orb. Okay, flying again. And it's a lot of start and stop. So
But overall, it sounds like it's not necessarily a bad game. It's just you had high hopes for it, and it didn't make what you were hoping for. Yeah,
I mean, there's that. I also like my other issue with the game is that it takes forever for it to explain itself as to how it's going on, and I do appreciate that it tried introducing stuff into bite-sized chunks, but like the relationship thing, which was this game mechanic where like once you start making friends with people, you put them into this sort of like, I don't want to call it like a world tree thing, but like, oh, well, if I've got my friendship with Piccolo and Krillin going on right now, then I get this extra kind of boost to my fighting thing. Or if I'm friends with this person right now, it means like I have access to like these kind of recipes, and like I only need this to make up this kind of stuff. That I still felt was fairly confusing, and it's just like as I'm going through the game, it's like, oh, you've unlocked so and so, and it's like it never really felt like it mattered. or it paid off or anything. My only other issue really with the game was the game world. And granted, I fully admit this is coming off of having done the One Piece game earlier. Like, one of the things I loved about One Piece is that the world was vibrant. It felt, it was an open world game, yet it always felt full of people. And it just like, if you're in a big area, there you heard crowds, you saw crowds. Like, there was always things to look at. Dragon Ball Z, everything just feels the same. Yeah, there's people, but honestly, like, it felt like an MMO where I'm the only one playing, and everyone else is just this like NPC that is just like miles and miles away from all the action. And it's just like, granted, like, I get that that's kind of the aesthetic of the Dragon Ball Z world. I mean, because it's like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, whenever there was a big battle to go, like, to happen with, like, against the Megazord versus this week's monster, amazingly enough, the final battle always happened out, 30 miles away from, 30 miles away from the city in this forest, mountain area that, just didn't exist anywhere. Oh, but it's right over here, and we're always going to have all of our battles happen here. Like, the Dragon Ball Z is the same exact thing too. Almost all battles always happened, out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And of course, part of that's due to animation costs, but I don't know. To a degree, I do feel like, yes, I did have higher hopes for this than maybe I should have, but I don't know. After 30 years of playing the same exact plot line in Dragon Ball Z games, it's just like, guys, you got to go back to the drawing board, and you got to, like, come on, give us something fresh. Like, one of the suggestions I've seen from people online is that people are saying that they should do a Dragon Ball one with this, just like do like a brand new Dragon Ball story with it. And honestly, I would have been all for it. Like, the map would have supported it. Like, you wouldn't have had to worry about flying as much. And it's just, it would have given us something new instead of like the same retread over and over and over again.
No. Well, as it stands, $60 on Kakarot. What do you think?
I'm not thrilled with that price point. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Well, it's a new game. That's what it's going to be.
No, I get that. Honestly, I was more in the, like, if it's $30 or less, go for it. Yeah, granted, I'm slightly cheap, but the game just left a sour taste in my mouth. I'll be honest. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was that great either.
So you're not mad. You're just disappointed.
Yes. and I hope that next report card is better. Now, of course, we did like the version that we're reviewing was like the Ultimate Edition. So, as stuff comes out, we can always return to it and keep reviewing like the latest DLC. One of the things I thought was really cool is that they actually just tossed in a time machine DLC thing, because with each chapter there are like missions and stuff like that if you didn't get it in that area, at the time you're totally fucked. However, it does introduce like this time machine thing, I guess, at the end of the game, which just lets you go back to whenever you need to and complete the quest, so you could do 100% if you need to.
That's good.
I thought that was pretty nice. So I will give it that. And since I have been playing, they've actually updated the game twice. So they are definitely trying to iron things out with it. So maybe by the end of it, it will be a better game. But I don't know.
Tread carefully.
Tread carefully, but at the same time, as much as I'm like disappointed with it, I'm still playing it. Like, it's not getting deleted off my Xbox after this review. I'm gonna go back at it. Because even as much as I hate the flight controls, like I'm still like, ugh, gotta catch all the orbs. Gotta get them.
Well, I'm still interested in this one. This is one of those games where I'm bummed we only got one copy because I wanted to check it out as well. But Jacob's like, I want to play Dragon Ball. So I gave it to him so he could stop bitching.
And then he bitched for the review.
It's true.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Jacob, thank you as always for coming on and doing your thing. Do you have any final words before we let you go and move on?
I did not prepare. No.
All right. Next game to talk about is called A Long Way Down, developed by Synapsis Studio, published by Goblin Studio and Maple Whispering Limited. Released January 16th on Steam for $17.99. A deck-building roguelite RPG set in a dark and tormented world. Assemble your party and use your cards to survive, fight, and build your way through a dark maze of monsters orchestrated by an evil mastermind. Your choices will lead you to judgment. Cole, tell us about A Long Way Down.
Okay, so I want to start off by saying that normally I would give like some details for the narrative here, but I feel if I like tell you anything about the story, the first words out of my mouth are going to be spoiler territory.
Okay, so no story.
I'm going to be super damn careful and just completely forego that at all. But I definitely want people to check that out. Gameplay wise,
buy the game. I just can't tell you why.
Buy the game strictly for the story and don't ask questions. So gameplay wise, it is it's sort of like a card building game and a tactical turn-based game. Think like Mutant Year Zero and Slay the Spire, but if they had a bastard love child.
Oh Lord.
Here we are. Okay. Cool. I'm sorry. I told you it was card deck building. My bad. I had to tell you something about the game though. They gave it to me, so I got to tell you a little bit about it. But I don't want to spoil it. I genuinely don't. The first, like even with the first few lines, I was like, "The fuck is happening?" So, it's great. I just can't tell you why. So when you are exploring I'm going to use the term dungeon again. I really don't want to give anything away. So when you're exploring different levels of the dungeons, then you have the Mutant Year Zero type of tactical gameplay where the floor is laid out like a floating grid, and you can collect different tiles and place those tiles around to help you move around the floor, because there will be areas that are already in existence where like there are enemies or a campfire so that you can heal up, or an armory so that you can change out your gear. But you have to build additional tiles to get around those. There's not just floor tiles though. You can have trap tiles. So if you know that you're going to put down a tile and it's going to let an enemy come to you, you can make the fight a little easier on yourself by laying down a trap first. And then when that enemy gets to you and triggers an actual combat sequence, they don't have as much health, which becomes vital because the difficulty spikes in A Long Way Down very, very quickly. I went through 2 levels and thought I was the biggest badass to ever see the light of day. Level 3 put me on my ass, and I wanted to sit in a corner and cry.
Wow. That's
where a lot of the management comes in. You hear deck building, and you already know there's going to be management in that regard, especially when I compare it to Slay the Spire. But you have to manage how you explore the floors as well, because if you just go, fuck it, I'm speed running, and you don't go looking around for extra gear, extra tiles, potions, and things of that nature, you're going to find yourself on the more difficult levels, and you're going to be severely underpowered. You're not going to have been able to collect powder to upgrade your cards. You're not going to have better defense and gear. Because unlike, say, Slay the Spire, where you get your relics and your cards for A Long Way Down, you actually get like armor and weapons for your characters. So you need to decide, okay, well, I want to have a wind effect, and you find, weapons and armor that have bonuses if you're using cards that are affected by wind, so that you can make yourself more powerful. But if you're just like trying to speed run through and you're just building straight lines to get straight to the objective to go to the next level, then you're not going to have spent time finding the necessary gear and upgrade powder and all that, so that you don't get to that next level and get face fucked. And part of the reason I screwed myself over in the first place was because each level has its primary challenge. It'll be like, defeat this enemy or defeat so many of this enemy. But then it will have secondary challenges as well. And one of them on mine was, don't stop at any campfires. So stopping or going past the campfire heals you for so many points. It's a 50 to start with. And it can be changed if you've got different equipment. But, so I was like, fine, I'll just beeline it for the boss. Beelined it for the boss, beat shit out of him, got to the next level, couldn't beat the most basic enemy.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, that's problematic. And I literally got so frustrated with it that I scrapped the whole thing and started a run over.
Wow.
I was like, I fucked myself because I didn't want to risk. And like, I could have just been careful and placed tiles so that I didn't hit the campfires, but and still continued to explore. But I got unruly with it, and I was like, no, fucking, I'm fine. And I was not fine.
That'll teach you.
So once you actually do get into a combat sequence, this is where you have the more Slay the Spire type of gameplay. Of course, deck building parts aside. But this is where you'll have your deck at the bottom, and you're using your cards to either heal or give yourself buffs or to debuff the enemies or to just flat out attack. In both gameplay variants, whether you're exploring the dungeon floor or whether you're in a combat, everything that you do is limited by how many action points you have. You get 3 default. You build right, you can do better for yourself if you need it, or if you build right to where it doesn't make a difference and you're not upgrading shit that's gonna need like 5 action points just to be usable. I did that too. I'm bad for that.
Nice.
I'm like, I'll get 74 action points somehow. It's fine. Upgrade it. Dumb. But but it's fine. It works out. But everything that you do is limited to those action points. So if you're building tiles, you can only build tiles twice and move once, or build 3 tiles or move 3 times. You know, any combination of that. But once you're out of points, then the enemy gets a turn, and they can destroy a tile that you just laid down. They don't give a fuck. Or they can destroy, if you're trying to get to something useful like a chest, they might destroy the tile the chest is on. Bye. You're out of luck. So that is, you really have to look it over and think about your moves instead of just running through it. Same with the actual card combat sequences. You have to really pay attention to what you're using, how it's going to affect the enemies, and how it's going to affect you. Some cards are better than others, and some might have a bit of a debuff on you in order to do a big hit to the enemies. And you need to think out, okay, is that worth actually the risk? Is that worth the negative position it's going to put me in? Or am I going to die like a fool like Cole?
You're going to die like a fool.
Yeah, I died like a fool a few times. And it's fine because it's a learning experience. That's the way these games are meant to be played. They're meant for you to fuck up and fail and go back and try to do it again. Which means I fucking love it. I'm a glutton for punishment because I don't ever go into a game like a long way down and think, I'm gonna struggle. I'm gonna make bad choices, and I'm gonna lose. I always go into every one of them thinking I'm just the queen of it all, and I'm gonna salt and burn the earth, and then I die on level 1 78 times, and then I'm like, okay, well, I might finally learn a lesson on number 80. I don't know. Just drop of a hat. It could happen.
Oh Lord.
But I do love this gameplay. I want to say I was really impressed that you don't need super high-powered gaming rig to play this game. If you have a little more questionable of a setup, it's still going to play fine. I recently upgraded my graphics card. I still went with an old-ass graphics card that I got used. It was a whole $60. It has 4 gig of RAM, and when I was playing on it, it was gorgeous. But before I actually got to play, high settings on a higher graphics card, I was straight up playing on a 10-year-old graphics card with 1 gig of DDR4 RAM in it. Even with the new graphics card, fuck it, my PC has a 9-year-old processor. Okay,
yeah,
it's an i5 2400. It's not moving mountains. It barely moves a pixel, but a long way down. Played really well, and I didn't notice any kind of stuttering. I did play it on medium settings instead of high. So, I mean, if you're above that, you're playing it, and it's going to be stunning. I didn't have any problems with jitteriness or lag. Everything was just gorgeous.
Well, then for $18, what do you think of A Long Way Down?
I absolutely give it a buy it. So much buy it. Buy 10 of it. Bring it to Xbox. PlayStation can get fucked, but bring it to Xbox because I want achievements in it that I will never be able to get because they'll be too goddamn hard. But I very much loved this game.
Awesome. Well, next game to talk about is called The Office Quest, developed and published by 11 Sheep. It released January 22nd on Xbox One for $11.99. Not all heroes wear capes. Some prefer fluffy onesies. The Office Quest is a point-and-click adventure for all you people who just cannot stay in the office any longer. Cole, tell us about The Office Quest, which has won my heart over.
Have you played it?
Yes, it is.
It's so surreal and weird and lovable.
It is. It's just so well done, and the animation is incredible in this game.
Every time, I want to click shit that you have no business clicking on just to watch him fail trying to do it.
Yeah.
Because he makes the best faces. He's just so disillusioned whenever you fuck up. He's like, well, that didn't work. Carry on. I love it. I love point and click goodness in the first place. Nobody listening is surprised to hear that.
Nope, not at all.
We were already a step ahead with the Office Quest, and then we're blending point and click with Root said deny it. Ban him. We're blending point and click with crazy surreal, visuals and a really well done art style. It's just so good. Sometimes, though, the solution that should be staring you in the face can be so far gone. Mm-hmm. Did you make it to the riddles with the guys on the toilet?
Oh yeah.
How many times did you fail?
I want to say 8 or 9.
Oh yeah, I want to. There are guides out there, but because there's so many different riddle combinations, I was never able to find anything that helped me.
Yeah, eventually with that puzzle, it got to the point where I just remembered the ones that I knew. And because they were random every time, I just had to wait it out and get a random set that I knew. And
I would get so mad too because I would do the first 3. You have to get 4 riddles correct in a row. And I would get the first 3 every single time.
And then the fourth one.
The fourth one would make you sit there and drool like you didn't even know your own name. You're like, oh, this is hard. I don't know, it's hard. And then drool going down and your eyes are glossed over and just you give up, click one of the answers, find out it's wrong and do it all again.
Yep.
But the victory when you do finally figure that shit out, and you just get 4 questions that you already know the answers to, far better. I do think, especially with some of the puzzles in the later one, again, that the solutions can be a little far out there. There are guides out to help if you do get stuck. I was trying to push through without them, but there were definitely times where I was just like ready to put the controller down and cry.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that could use, I don't want to say more hand holding, but just something to point out the obvious. Yeah.
There was one puzzle, it was fairly early on, but like it tells you to highlight the blocks in a single, or the dots in a single motion. And like I'm pushing every button combination I can think of and nothing is working. And I'm so confused. Like, what the fuck button is
I kept holding the button on like the first one and trying to drag it over.
Yeah, because it does an animation of a finger going across. And the reason for that is because the game was originally on mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you were supposed to, collect all the dots without lifting your finger up. That puzzle does not translate well to Xbox. You have to use the D-pad.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. I didn't think the puzzle translated horribly. I just think they could have done a better job explaining what you had to do.
See, like when it makes the comment about, moving it across without picking the finger, I thought like you genuinely had to go around the whole thing and never let up off of the D-pad. And so I was fucking myself up so bad. And no, like you can just click one at a time and it doesn't give a fuck, which is great. It's how it kind of should be. But it could have at least told me that so I didn't fuck myself.
Yeah.
And get so much more confused than I needed to be. Beyond just like holding your hand a little extra, I loved it though. It was quirky and it was weird and it was everything you want from a wild ass point and click.
It just oozes personality.
Yeah. Root Beer says he hated it. I'm surprised.
Wow.
I really have enjoyed it though.
I've enjoyed it too. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a genuinely fun, and I don't want to say it's like a funny, hilarious game, but it gets some good, genuine chuckles out of you, and it makes you smile. And I like having that in games where it just puts a smile on my face. My favorite, well, it might be spoiler. Fuck. Never mind. Well, spoil anyway, because at $12, what do you think? Buy it. Even if you're Root Beer. Get fucked, Root Beer. Don't tell our listener to get fucked. Our listener. Yes. For one. Root Beer in no time. Well, Doc's there too. Oh, yeah, he don't count. Bought it on Switch for like $2 and didn't like it. Really? Right. I'm surprised as well. I really enjoyed the game. Anyway, next game to talk about is called Far Out, developed and published by Escapism Software, or Softworks, sorry. Released January 17th on Xbox One for $14.99. In this game, you'll face a really old school challenge, no map arrows, no one will lead you and tell you what to do. This is a one-man show with full freedom action where you are able to do whatever you want to do, but remember, you need to survive. Cole, what is Far Out? So Far Out is one of those... They classify it as a survival, but I don't know that I would say that's entirely accurate. It's more of like a creepy adventure game. You play as a dude who wakes up. He's been cryogenically frozen on a spaceship that he was assigned to, and he wakes up from it and fucking everybody's gone. and clearly shit has gone poorly while you were asleep. And that's all well and good. I will say I find this premise stale, without trying to be rude about it. But it's just kind of like anytime somebody needs or wants to put together like a sci-fi horror, it's just, hey, you were asleep and now you're on a ship. Good luck. And everyone disappeared. What happened. Yeah, and it's like, okay, but either everyone disappeared or there's corpses everywhere and you're somehow not scared. Yeah. I don't understand.
how this trope came to pass, but here it is, and Far Out falls into it. They're not kidding when they say they won't hold your hand. Literally, the first instruction it will give you is get to the bridge. You get to the bridge, you gotta figure out what the fuck you're doing while you're in there on your own. Then after you figure that shit out, if you're lucky enough or if you're using a guide, the next objective at the top of the screen will be save the ship. Failing that, it becomes save yourself. There's no instructions on how to do any of this shit. And I get it. They want to, make you explore and make you figure it out. All that's well and good. All that's fine. I can understand not holding hands. A little something else might have helped. It did come up at one point and tell me to change a fuse. That was nice. Didn't tell me where the fuse would be. Just find a fuse on a ship and change it and hope for the best. The first time I played, something broke out into a fire. Apparently that's an RNG thing. There are a few random luck shit that can happen. The worst part is that they've had an achievement to the random luck shit.
Like what?
It's literally get off the ship in an escape pod without shit going wrong. So the ship can't catch fire. The fuse can't break. You can't choose the emergency pod that's empty. Shit like that. And it's just hit or miss. You could put in a code and the whole goddamn place start burning down. And there ain't anything you can do about it. You have no idea that it's going to happen. And if it happens and you're trying to get the RNG achievement, your only option is shut that shit down and do it again.
No.
All of the guides, I was trying specifically for that achievement. You can beat Far Out in about an hour. Thankfully, it's relatively short, but you got to go through it 3 or 4 times to get different endings. But I was trying. I think I broke it. Is what I'm about to tell you.
Shocker that you broke a game.
According to the guides for the achievement, they said, "Oh, if you don't get fire right away, you're good. You're gonna get the RNG achievement." And so, the first time that I set out purposely for this achievement, I got a fire. And I was like, well, fuck, let's start it over. Let's do this again. The next time, I didn't get the fire. I'm like, fuck yeah, all is well and good. Going for the escape pod. Got the escape pod that's not empty. Fuck yes, I'm on a roll. Then all of a sudden, they're like, the guy is like, oh, well, if all these things happen, the power's not going to go out. So you're good. You're home free. You've got the achievement. No, you're not. Because if that's not supposed to happen, it happened. I had all the good luck shit. And then the power went out. And it's like, find a fuse. And I'm like, fuck you, where?
Man.
Add insult to injury, it's not necessarily insult to injury in that it's not a bad thing. That what if you beat the game and don't get all the achievements? This is still broken. Yes. Especially if you do it multiple times. That's when I'm pissy about it. Because RNG achievements are just garbage every time anyway. I have good luck and that's still garbage. One of it's both a blessing and a curse in Far Out is that you can interact with damn near everything. And it's super cool to just be exploring the ship and picking random things up and looking at it. It kind of reminds you of Gone Home, where you just pick shit up and look around, which is great until you're trying to touch the one thing that you need to take with you, and then you can't get it because there are 74 other touchable things around it. 5. There's maybe 5. 74 is an exaggeration, but there's so much shit around it that you're the controls aren't solid enough to just hone in on the one thing you're trying to pick up and get it and go. Yeah. So especially when you're in a hurry, again, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but if you're in a hurry and you need to grab something and get the fuck out of an area, and you're constantly trying to pick up a fuse, and it's constantly trying to give you a takeout box. that's annoying.
Yeah, I can imagine.
There comes a point where it's like, okay, that's too much interactivity. If I'm trying to solve a puzzle, give me the things I need to click and let's move. You can let me explore somewhere else. Here, tell me where I need to be. But I mean, they clearly wanted to go for the "we don't hurt your hand" shit. You can tell what I think of that theory.
Well, that's
Hold
the point
my
of this
hand,
game.
you bastards. If that's what they're going for, great. They did a good job at it. But as far as general gameplay goes, I don't find it particularly enjoyable when I've literally got to rummage through a garbage pile to find what I need.
Yeah.
But that could very well be a personal thing. Beside that, though, like I said, the controls are not exactly flawless. There's some key bindings that are a little crouch is on X, run is on left trigger, right trigger is interact, which is fine. I'm fine with that one. But like, there would be so many times I would be trying to touch something with X, like an action button, and then I would just be crouched. And then I would be like, forget I was crouched, and I would try to run, and I could only imagine what that fucking looked like.
Oh,
but I was doing it. And
I'm
gonna
proud of
mute
you.
because there's my husband. So, but for 4 Out, I do give it a try it, especially if you want like a 3 to 4 hour completion, and RNG doesn't hate you.
Anyway, next game to talk about is called Lumini, developed by Spielbars, published by Two Awesome Studio, released January 21st on PS4, 22nd on Xbox One, 24th on the Switch for $9.99. A long-forgotten species, a hostile planet, and a journey of discovery. Welcome to the world of Lumini. Cole, tell us about this one.
So this is one of those adventure games where you're meant to explore and experience it, but not necessarily know what the fuck is actually going on. It is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. The character sprites, the little Lumini that you control, are super adorable. They're kind of like, I never could decide if they were birds or fish, because sometimes it definitely seems like you're underwater, and sometimes it definitely seems like you're not. I am fairly certain that you're supposed to be fish, though, because there are definitely fish-like creatures that chase after and eat you. And that's a problem. There are 4 different colors of the Lumini, and each one has a different ability. So, like, red has a burst that's actually fatal. And so if there is a fish that is red or a plant that is red, you can get close enough to them that the burst will radiate out and actually damage them. And then you don't have to worry about them anymore. The blue fish, I guess they're fish, have the ability to go a little faster and kind of do a speed boost. There you go. Put them on screen so it makes sense what I'm talking about. Thank you. If you're listening to the podcast, get fucked. You're going to have to look up your own screenshot. But then there's the yellow fish have like an electricity power. The red ones can have a fatal power. The blue ones go a little faster. Purple, they can kind of concuss things. The purple ones are a little bit of an issue, though. You only get so many of them to start out with at the beginning. There are like these electric flower orbs all throughout the world, and you can collect those. And then when you get back to one of the crystal nests, they convert into more Lumini. But you never get more purple ones back. If your purple ones all die, that's that. You finish without purple. Which is a bummer, because there's an achievement for evolving all of them. And there are like these special orbs that you need to find. And I can't find one before all my purple are dead. They die so fast. I was purposely trying to keep them in the middle of my little school of Lumini. So like at least the red ones or the yellow ones would get eat up first. And I could use the blue ones to just boost past things and fly and not have to worry about any kind of combat. And it didn't matter. Like, the stupid fish would catch me going around a corner or trying to fly up or solve a puzzle and come along and snap up my purple ones with a heartbeat. I still can't get a purple one involved. The campaign is pretty short and sweet. I would say it's around an hour and a half, depending on how much you struggle to manage some of the puzzles. Some of them are certainly more difficult. The whole experience is meant to be very laid back, and not something that you're supposed to stress out over. It was really cool to like play it late at night with my feet propped up, just enjoy it. But some of the puzzles require some maneuvering of your thumbsticks that can get a bit challenging. You can split your school into two and control part of your Lumini with the right thumbstick and part of them with the left, which is super awesome until you have got to spin the left and right thumbsticks in different directions around a wheel so that it opens a door, and then reconvert your school really quickly and shoot them through that door before it closes back on you. My thumbs hurt by the time I was done with that. And I was very grateful that it was a very scarce puzzle mechanic. The worst of it, most of the game was like split them into two and hold down two different like pressure plates to open doors. But when it came to the spinning around the wheels, those were not arthritis friendly. But it was just so rare that it wasn't a huge issue, and I was able to get through it. One thing, though, is you cannot get all of the achievements in your first playthrough, even though you can do the task that unlocks the achievements. There's a weird quirk with the game where when you beat it the first time, it unlocks hard mode after that. Which is also a horrible mode to try to save your purple fish in. That one's hopeless. But some of the achievements have to be done in hard mode, but they don't say that. You don't know it until you're playing the game and you look back at the end and you're like, but I fucking did that. Why didn't it pop? And then when I loaded up hard mode and did those like basic things again, I was like, well, shit, there's my achievements. So it would be nice if those were a little more clear. But nothing else about the game so much gives you a word, so I don't know why I would expect any kind of help in the achievement department. But it is one of those, it's just a simple, really pretty game that's, relaxing to play. It's not going to challenge you too much. Hard mode is surprisingly difficult. I didn't expect a whole lot out of it. I was like, it's not a roguelite. The enemies are all in the same places. Same number of them spawn. Those fucking fish are a lot faster though. And goodbye purple lumini. You call them lumini, and I'm trying to like tell myself to pronounce them lumini. But
I don't know how it's pronounced. I could be wrong.
I've been pronouncing it lumini ever since you gave it to me.
It could be lumini.
And so here I'm trying to tell myself that it's lumini, and here I fucked up and was like, well, there went my illusion. It might be.
Maybe it is.
I don't know why. I've been saying lumini ever since.
Well, either way, lumini, $10. What do you think of it?
I give it a definite buy it. This is one of those like fantastic palate cleanser kind of games where you're just tired of Rocket League. You're just tired of shooting people in the face in Call of Duty. You're tired of solving puzzles and pointing and clicking, and you just want to press the over on the thumbstick and go.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, final game to talk about tonight is called Foxyland 2, developed by Bug Studio, published by Rattlelake Games, released January 21st on PS4 and Vita, 22nd on Xbox, 24th on the Switch for $4.99. After a peaceful day looking for cherries, Foxy's children were kidnapped by the mean Wolfie brothers. Now it's up to Fox and Jenny to rescue their children. Cole, how is Foxyland 2?
Far more difficult than the first Foxyland.
Really?
I was so surprised at how much more difficult it was. Because I thought the first Foxyland was like one of the more enjoyable Rattlelake published platformers. It wasn't, like over the top creative or anything, but it was cute and it was solid and it did what it needed to do. somewhere along the lines of the creation of Foxyland 2, though, those solid controls shit the bed.
Oh, no.
And the controls are nowhere near as good as they were for the first game. And I'm not saying the first game was, like, overwhelmingly fantastic anyway.
Yeah.
But it definitely had better controls than Foxyland 2. I have died so many times doing the exact same thing that I did 30 times before that was working fine. I don't know why. Like, I can't even explain what it is about the controls that doesn't work well. They just sometimes don't work well. You can press and jump. I do not pronounce every third word incorrectly. God damn it.
You have to address the comments before you react to them. Otherwise, it's just very confusing when you listen to it. Like, oh, Root Beer's My Jam says Cole pronounces every third word incorrectly, so I wouldn't really depend on her too much. And then you react to it.
But if I read it, then that's just more words incorrectly pronounced. I don't want to do it.
So Foxyland 2 is harder and doesn't control as good as the first game.
Right. So with the whole premise is that the Wolfie boys have kidnapped your children and you got to go get them back. One child has been taken by each of the Wolfie boys, and so you need to defeat both of the Wolf brothers in order to get your two kids back. It's surprisingly short in that regard. I seem to remember there being far more levels in the first Foxyland. Maybe I'm imagining it or confusing it with another one of those Ratalaika games. Because they do have a tendency to be like, oh, you only need to play like a third of the levels to get all the achievements. But it just seemed to me that Foxyland was longer than Foxyland 2. Foxyland 2 has roughly, I know there are 24 core levels, and then there are some secret levels that you have to find and unlock. But it's still surprisingly short in comparison. Each level has 3 gold coins. You can get them or not. There is an achievement for getting so many of them. If achievements are your cup of tea. Even with that, you still don't have to get all of them for the achievements. It's just like, hey, you tried.
You tried.
Ratalaika games are kind of like the endearing parent who pats you on the head and gives you a participation trophy. And Foxyland 2 is no different. But there is a boss battle. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. You only have to do 1 for the achievements. You have to do 2 if you actually want to save both your kids. Unless you're trying to downgrade. It's up to you. But
makes sense.
There is no checkpoint system throughout the boss battles. Maybe I'm a bitch, but there is nothing enjoyable about getting to the last hit needed for a boss fight and dying, even though you did the same thing that you did the previous 11 hits that worked fine. Maybe I'm picky. I would like to see a little more polish, a little more finesse on those controls. But as it is, normally with like a Ratalaika game, I'd say if it's really good, I say give it a buy it. If it's kind of good, but hey, it's easy achievements, I'll say fuck it, why not? But with Foxyland, those controls are bad. Damn. And I would say if you really want the achievements and you just like need a moderately quick half-hour completion to get your rocks off, Foxyland 2 is fine. And you could try it. But like if you're genuinely going into it looking for a fantastic platforming experience, you might want to stay away.
It's a bummer to hear it's not as good as the first.
It's adorable. It's just not. If platforming is what you're going for, then your controls have to be tight.
Yeah.
And it's just Fox Alien 2 just doesn't have it. And I'm sitting here going, where did they go wrong? What did they do? I just want to jump and double jump and slide down the wall every now and then. And instead, I'm just like casually careening into spikes, and I'm not even, I thought I was holding a wall, but whatever. Here I am, dead.
Oh,
do
well.
it again. So, yeah, it's just that it was more frustrating, and if they polished it up, I'd be like, never mind, I changed my mind. Let's go back to fuck it, why notsville. but I can't do that with it being as rough as it is.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll bring another Rattlelake game and a whole new opinion.
There's already 2 or 3 more. I can't keep up.
Hey, Rattlelake, they keep churning them out. We'll keep covering them.
It's not even Rattlelake. There's like 4 different developers right now taking the here's some cheap 1K routes. And I'm not mad about it. I know a lot of achievement hunters are like super pissed. Oh, the values, achievements. Achievements are worthless anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're fun. I like hearing the pop. I feel like I did something awesome, even if I'm just playing garbage games.
Yeah.
But sometimes I play garbage. Like, not even the stuff I review for the show. There are some that I'm just like, I paid money to do this.
Oh, shit, I unplugged my headset. Hold on.
Oh, no.
There, my headset's plugged back in.
Woohoo.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, wow, it got really quiet out of nowhere. Oh, my headset unplugged.
I would say that of the cheapy, you know, easy completers, Rattlelake is fairly solid. Even if, you know, like, they don't knock it out of the park with every one of them, but they have a pretty good
track record
of this shit's good. This is,
yeah.
You know, even if you can complete it quickly, there are times like Jack and Jill DX was one of them that I did not expect to like as well as I did, but it was solid. It played well. It just did. And even after I got the achievements, I kept going through it. There were like hundreds of levels, and I was just like, here we go. Whee!
Carnage.
You
And
know?
now there's like 2 or 3 Rattlelake and knockoff companies too. Yeah, you were just saying.
I mean, it's a solid strategy. It really is. You know, and I'm okay with the whole, you know, here's some easy achievements. I actually kind of find it funny because most people that I interact with that play games will be like, oh yeah, I'm a hardcore gamer. I play all the time. I'll be like, oh yeah, what's your gamer score? And they're like, 20,000. And I'm like, that's cute.
That is really cute. 20,000.
You a baby gamer.
I'm creeping up on 500K. So I'm getting excited. Yeah.
I think I hit 310 this week. Yeah. Which is pretty good because I just hit 300 at the beginning of December. So.
We should have a different rating for those achievement games. What would, I don't know, I think buy it, try it, deny it, and fuck it, why not kind of encapsulates everything.
Yeah, I think fuck it, why not covers a lot of the easy achievements. But, you know, there are some that even for the sake of the achievements, I have to be like, no. No.
Anyway, that is it for this episode. Cole, thanks as always for being here. Thanks again to Tim for coming on and chatting Rassles with me. Always fun doing Wrasslecast. You got to join us for one of them just to make fun of us.
Uh-huh.
You seem so invested in joining a Wrasslecast.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, do you have any final words to end the show?
Uh-huh. Oh, wait, you asked a different question this time.